Hi, my name is Matthew Hopp of the Ontario First Nations Technical Services Corporation. We are the lead organization that delivers fuel handling training to Ontario First Nations. But today, I want to share with you footage of a fuel spill captured live on the Fuel Network. This training video will show you how to properly respond to a fuel spill and will demonstrate safe fuel handling practices. Our field trainers will be visiting your community soon, so if you have any questions or comments regarding our field training program or this training video, please call us at 807-623-9595 or visit our website at www.ofntsc.org. Thanks for listening to this live broadcast by the Fuel Network. Enjoy the show.
Hello, and welcome to Environment Today on the Fuel Network. I'm your host, Kevin Anderson. Today we bring you updates on new and pending regulations regarding safe fuel handling and also how to deal with small and medium-scale petroleum product spills. Attention must be paid to the methods used in handling fuel in remote First Nations communities and also growing concern about the impact on the environment that improper petroleum use is having is stand by. Yes. We have a breaking news story. Our field reporter, Ira Jacob, will be joining us live via TFN special satellite link. He's on the site of a petroleum spill in Oak River, a remote First Nations community in northern Ontario. Yes, I hear him. So, hello, Ira. We understand that you're at the site of a petroleum spill. Can you tell us what happened and what the current situation is?
Yes, Kevin. We were alerted to this incident only minutes ago. We are the first on the scene, and this will give us a great opportunity to see the response to a spill.
Oh, what happened?
Well, during the refueling of a tractor, petroleum was spilled on the ground, causing the immediate stoppage of work. We have the construction site security video, and we're uploading it right now.
Yeah, we can see the images now. What's next?
When a petroleum spill happens, it's important to react in a timely, effective, and safe manner.
Yes, we know that oil, gas, and other forms of liquid petroleum present an extreme fire hazard. A spark can ignite in temperatures as low as -40 Celsius. And soil and water contamination is also a major concern and can gravely alter an ecosystem's food chain.
That's right, Kevin. The spill recovery team uses what is called a spill kit to help clean up the environmental damage. Here they are arriving now.
Yes, we can see that the crew is beginning to deploy the spill kit. Our producers here in the studio have sourced a file video that shows what a spill kit contains. Let's go to that video now.
The Ontario First Nations Technical Services Corporation recommends a blue spill kit that will clean up to a maximum of 205 litres of spilled petroleum liquid, and a smaller, more portable red spill kit that will clean up to a maximum of 56 litres of spilled petroleum liquid. Let's start with a look at the 205 litre blue spill kit. To open up the spill kit, remove the metal snap ring, and then remove the container's plastic lid. Inside every spill kit is a content list that you can refer to when ordering replacement pieces. In addition to the content list, attached is a point form procedural sheet that outlines how to use the spill kit contents. Each spill kit comes with a set of personal protective equipment. Inside the 205 litre spill kit comes 2 sets of disposable Tyvek coveralls, which are to be worn in order to protect your body and limbs from liquid petroleum exposure. These Tyvek coveralls are disposable and will not melt when exposed to liquid petroleum. Additionally, you are provided with 2 pairs of sealed eye goggles used for eye protection. And lastly, when handling petroleum liquid, you must always use the provided disposable neoprene gloves, which will not melt when touched by petroleum-based liquids. In each spill kit, there are 5 special garbage bags. Each bag is designed to be enclosed within the spill kit drum and will not melt when exposed to liquid petroleum. Each bag comes with a nylon tie, which is used to ensure the bag can be sealed shut. You will also be provided with a number of absorbent pads and absorbent socks that are used to absorb spilled petroleum products. Each 205-liter spill kit comes with 2 bags of non-toxic and non-leaching refined spag sorb peat moss, which is an environmentally friendly product. Lastly, your spill kit comes with a container of plug-and-dike putty that is used for patching holes in fuel tanks and drums. This putty must only be used with the provided neoprene gloves. Now let's take a look at the contents within the red bagged spill kit. These smaller spill kits are good to keep within a fuel truck or an O&M truck. However, they can only help you clean up to a maximum of 56 liters of spilled petroleum liquid. Within the red bag spill kit, there is a contents list and procedural instruction sheet. Because the bag spill kits are intended for small spills, the only necessary personal protective equipment are eye goggles and neoprene gloves that will help limit your exposure to the spilled petroleum liquid. Although your spill may be smaller, this personal protective equipment should be worn at all times. Similarly to the 205-liter spill kit, the bag spill kit has a stock of absorbent socks. Instead of using peat moss, the bag spill kit comes with Zorbol or kitty litter, which is just as effective at absorbing liquid petroleum products. Lastly, we are provided with a container of plug-and-dike patty premix. It is imperative that you follow the given directions as outlined on the content sheet and use the provided personal protective equipment at all times.
Well, Ira, it looks like a spill kit contains a lot of important materials and protective equipment.
That's right, Kevin. It contains everything the spill recovery team needs to safely clean up the spill.
Who has been notified about this incident?
Well, the local group responsible for a spill response was contacted.
Yes, I understand that could be the worksite supervisor, the emergency contact responsible for the fuel site, the community operation manager, chief, the council members, and the community police force or fire department.
That's right, Kevin.
So, Ira, what's the first step?
The first step is to assess the situation and follow a carefully detailed list of procedures. What was interesting, Kevin, was that during the initial assessment, we discovered a fuel tank that was improperly installed and leaking. We also found a spill near a small stream.
Well, Ira, I understand that the crew is beginning to deploy the spill kit. We've accessed the spill cleanup procedures list here in the studio. Let's follow along with the crew in the field. The first step is to assess the situation and stop the spill. Remove all non-essential people from the site. Make sure nobody is smoking near the grill. Turn off any electricity and vehicles in the area. In the event of a fire, contact your local or community fire department and evacuate upwind at least 1,000 meters for a gasoline fire and 300 meters for a diesel fire. It's important to ensure that petroleum products do not touch your skin and enter your bloodstream, as these products are harmful to your health. Wear your own rubber boots and put on the coveralls, gloves, and eye goggles provided in your spill kit. If it is safe to do so, immediately stop the source of the petroleum spill. You may have to turn off the main valve from the fuel tank. Work upwind of the spill to avoid being in its vapor trail. Vapors from petroleum products can ignite from sparks caused by a steel shovel or heavy equipment, so it is imperative to keep yourself and others upwind and out of harm's way. If houses nearby are located downwind from the site, you may have to evacuate them until it is deemed safe. If necessary, you may need to shovel dirt into a pile around the perimeter in order to stop downhill product flow. To do this, shovel dirt into a small hill around the spill and use the absorbent socks to prevent further flow. Use an overlap of approximately 8 to 10 inches and set up a perimeter around the spill. Make sure to use a spark-free plastic or aluminum shovel in order to avoid igniting vapors, which can easily occur while scraping gravel or pavement. Once you have established a perimeter around the spill, overlap the spill kit's absorbent pads over the liquid inside the perimeter of absorbent socks. As the absorbent pads and socks begin to absorb the spilled petroleum product, you can place the spill kit's peat moss over top of the pads, which will help absorb any additional petroleum that is possibly soaked into the ground. As you allow the peat moss to soak up any remaining liquid, place a garbage bag in the spill kit bin. Continue to ensure that all sources of ignition are shut off and that the public is not in the immediate area of the spill. Remaining upwind, carefully pick up the absorbent pads and socks and place them in the garbage bag in the spill kit bin. You will have to use a non-sparking aluminum or plastic shovel to pick up any remaining peat moss or contaminated soil. Once you have disposed of all the product and tainted soil, slowly remove your coveralls and gloves and place them in the spill kit container. You can now tie up the spill kit garbage bag with the provided ties. It is imperative to take your spill kit to an improved land site that can properly contain and dispose of the contaminated soil. If you spill more than half the drum's volume, which is 100 liters of fuel or more, or just above the lettering on the spill kit, you must report it. Call the Spills Action Center at 1-800-268-6060, available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When you make this call, please provide the nature and quantity of material spilled, location, time and duration of occurrence, cause of the spill response taken, and possible impact. Reporting the spill should happen after you have the site secured and the release of petroleum liquids stopped. If the spill is near a waterway or ditch, you must contact the hotline regardless of the amount spilled. After any spill occurs, it is important to determine how to prevent this accident from happening again. Ask yourself, what was the reason for the spill? How much liquid was spilled? Perhaps additional training and education may be necessary for those involved with the incident. We can see that there's a lot to consider when dealing with a spill. Let's summarize the procedure. Assess the spill. Ensure that the situation is safe for yourself and others so that you can stop the product flow. Wear the personal protective equipment. Contain the spill and absorb the spilled petroleum liquid with the provided absorbent materials. Carefully pick up the absorbent materials by hand or with a non-sparking aluminum or plastic shovel while continuing to wear the personal protective equipment. Dispose of the spill kit contents at an approved landfill site or soil remediation cell. If the spill is more than 100 liters or if any amount of petroleum liquid affects a waterway, report the incident to the Spill Action Center hotline. Determine how the accident occurred, how to prevent it again next time, and if anyone needs additional training in order to decrease the likelihood of a repeat accident.
That's a good review, Kevin. Oh, I mentioned earlier that we also discovered an improperly installed day fuel tank that was leaking.
Yes, I understand that this is a very serious situation.
Kevin, the crew here is working as we speak.
Now let's follow along with the crew as they patch a hole on this leaking day fuel tank. Now it looks like this particular tank was punctured by accident, but another common source of leaks is corrosion. As day fuel tanks age, they can corrode from the inside out, and a leak can occur without much notice. It is very important that you regularly inspect your fuel tanks for this situation.
In order to temporarily stop a leak in a corroded fuel tank, they must patch the holes up. In both the 15-gallon and 205-liter spill kits, there is a container of Plug and Dyke Plug Patty Premix. This putty can be used to temporarily plug holes in a home heating tank, vehicle car tanks, and bulk fuel tanks. The putty acts similarly to plasticine and is used for patching holes in fuel tanks and drums. You must wear the provided neoprene gloves when touching the putty and cleaning the tank's hole. If a pan, a piece of cardboard, or a container such as a pail is available, this can be placed underneath the leak, which prevents additional fuel from seeping into the ground. Before patching the hole, place absorbent pads from the spill kit in order to absorb any fuel that is seeping into the ground. If the hole in the tank is too large to fix alone with the amount of Plug and Dyke putty that you have, you can use an external object such as a stick to help plug the hole and then place the putty around the plug item. Once a leak has been contained, you must wipe away any dirt or debris with a clean rag away from the hole. Once the hole is clean, place some putty in and around the hole. You will then have to flatten the putty and work it with your fingers in order to fully plug and cover up the hole. Although the putty is quite moldable, it will harden the moment any petroleum liquids touch it. Once the putty dries, it becomes rock solid. All of these plug and dike methods are temporary fixes and are by no means meant for long-term application. Ideally, any fuel within a damaged tank or barrel should be immediately placed into a non-punctured barrel or container until the leaking tank can be properly repaired. This is only done to get the fuel out of the tank to allow for a proper repair or replacement. Well, Kevin, it looks like our team has successfully stopped the leak. Of course, a proper soil cleanup will also be required.
Okay, Ira, well, now that the leak is stopped, what about the improper tank installation?
Last spring on Environment Today, we covered this topic. Can you see if we can pull that video up?
Yes, Ira, we have the video now. Let's roll tape on that video showing proper day tank installation techniques. It is essential to correctly install a new fuel tank.
Hi there, and welcome to this special feature on the Fuel Network's Environment Today. I'm Nick Winters, and today I'm going to talk about the proper installation of day fuel tanks. Proper design, installation, and maintenance are key factors in minimizing the risks associated with fuel tank accidents. In many First Nations communities, there are a variety of different types of fuel tanks. There are bulk tanks, vehicle fuel tanks, and home heating tanks, like this one here. There are also 205-liter drums. But no matter what the type of fuel tank it is, we want to make sure to avoid any leakage that could cause damage to Mother Earth, man-made structures, and even endanger human lives. Installing an oil tank isn't something you should ever do on your own. Oil tanks need to be installed by a licensed oil burner technician, and any technician should show their certificate before they start any work. Single-wall oil tanks need to be replaced at least once every 10 years to ensure they're not corroding or leaking from the inside out. Here are a few helpful tips and regulations to help ensure that your next installation is a proper and safe one. Installation of your tank should be done on a level and stable foundation, with the tank sloped towards the filter. A concrete slab or reinforced patio stone is generally a safe bet. Metal legs should be used to hold up the tank up to a maximum of 12 inches off the ground. Wood should never be used to form the legs or the foundation, because tank supports need to be able to withstand at least 2 hours of direct exposure to fire. Your tank should be secured against winds or floodwaters so it doesn't lift up or topple over in extreme conditions. Proper placement of a tank is very important. Although this tank may look fine, it is actually not properly installed. Tanks need to be situated at least 1.5 meters away from any window, stairs, or door. An open window can cause a vacuum that invites harmful gas fumes into your home. If your tank is situated near a driveway or an alley, it needs to be protected from vehicles. This can be done using non-flammable materials such as boulders or metal poles that are cemented into the ground. Proper maintenance requires access to all areas of the tank. That includes all four sides and underneath it. In order to do this, you want to maintain at least 4 to 6 inches of space between any wall or building. You also want to keep the area of the tank clear of any trees, brush, or long grass. You should clear the area before installation and maintain a clear area after installation. It's very important that you understand and obey these regulations, because any improperly installed tank can be shut down due to health, safety, or environmental concerns. Recently, it has been encouraged that residents and businesses buy double-walled tanks, such as Roth brand tanks. Roth brand tanks are essentially a tank within a tank. The inside layer is made of a plastic that doesn't erode when it comes into contact with fuel. The outside layer is made of galvanized metal, which won't rust and is leak and corrosion proof. Together, they combine to create a secondary layer of protection. All home heating tanks require an approved coated copper pipe for oil burning appliances. These pipes can withstand the elements as well as the corrosive nature of fuel. There are a few types of pipe you're going to want to avoid when you're setting up your line. Namely, you're going to want to avoid yellow plastic coated copper pipes used for propane or natural gas, as well as single-walled copper tubing. fuel oil piping and double-walled containment piping systems should be set up so that they're protected from contraction, expansion, vibration, settling, and the stresses of temperature change. Technology has helped make fuel tanks safer and easier. Many tanks now come with a leak indicator that let you know if the inner wall has failed. In addition, many of them come with an overflow whistle. This whistle sits on top and makes a noise as you're filling up the tank, and it stops whistling when it's time to stop filling. This helps prevent the overflow of fuel onto the ground when the temperature rises and the fuel inside expands. This report is focused on the proper installation of day fuel tanks. As you can see, we have now properly installed this tank to code and to any clearance from doors, windows, or stairs. If the tips and regulations in this report are followed, it'll go a long way in help preventing the possible damage of fuel tank leakage to Mother Earth, man-made structures, and human lives. I hope these tips and instructions will help you realize the proper process for tank installation and make your next installation a safe one. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Environment Today.
Now, we've learned about the contents of a spill kit, how to properly clean up a spill, how to patch a hole in a leaky day fuel tank, and identify proper day tank installations.
That's right, Kevin. But most importantly, we all must do our part in preventing, identifying, and recovering from petroleum spills in our communities. We'll continue to follow this story for TFN. That's all for us here. Back to you, Kevin.
Okay, well, thanks very much, Ira. That ends our special coverage of the fuel spill in Oak River, Ontario. It was a great opportunity to revisit the special safety procedures that we need when dealing with petroleum products. We here at Environment Today hope that this will help you prevent future fuel spills. And now that you know that training is available, we know that you'll be better prepared to respond in a timely, effective, and safe manner. If you would like more information about spill kit response, please call the OFN TSC at 1-807-623-9595 or visit www.ofntsc.org. That's it for all of us here at the Fuel Network. I'm Kevin Anderson. Goodbye, and be safe.